one gets to a point in one's life when the bigger questions, you begin to consider the bigger questions. And when I was a kid, you know, I was taught these things. You know, I was brought up in a household that taught Christianity, Christ, Catholicism, and I had a firm grounding in that. And in my refocus or re-examination of everything, this story of the Passion came up at me, and I kind of used it as a personal meditation. And I was doing a lot of reading on the subject. I kind of thought, well, you know, somebody ought to put this, make a sort of a visual record of this. And so that's where the idea began, but that was like maybe 14, 15 years ago.
I can remember talking to Mel when we first started Icon, and we were talking about material, and Mel was talking about the Bible. So that's got to be over 15 years ago when he first mentioned the Bible as a source of material for film.
It wasn't until we were doing We Were Soldiers that he actually expressed any desire to do the film, and at that point we were shooting a big battle sequence out in the middle of Vietnam, and then Mel walks off the set and he's standing there. He just comes up next to me, you know, and I'm paying attention to something over there, and he goes, "I want to make a movie about the Passion."
It just kind of emerged at a certain point when it needed to, and I felt inspired to go off and, you know, construct the script and work with a writer and go off and make the film.
I was living in Italy at the time, in Umbria, you know, surrounded by olive trees and sort of in Gethsemane, Italian version. And Steve McAfee had told him that he could think of only one or very few writers who could do this for him or help him with it, and gave him my name. So he called, and you know, much to my surprise.
But I think the biggest hurdle with Ben was when I was speaking to him was he could not understand why I wanted to do it in two dead languages. It was like, it was mystifying to him.
I was baffled at the idea. Then it started to grow on me.
We talked it through, and he got it, like, bang, the lights went on. He went, "Oh!" And he got very excited. And at that point, I knew that he was, like, perfect to collaborate with on the story.
The Passion comes from pathos, suffering. That's what it means. You know, we tend to think of the Passion as being another feeling altogether, or another series of feelings altogether. But that's what it means, the suffering.
And what we tried to do was to present the account of the Passion as it is in the four Gospels. The Gospels themselves are synoptic. That means that they're synopses of what happened. Or there's 3 synoptic and 1 John.
There are moments in this film that are not from the Gospels. One very powerful moment that is not in the Gospels, but is in the book of Revelations, is when we run to him on the second fall, after his head has been crushed by the weight of the cross. And Jesus runs his fingers over his mother's face and says to her, "You see, I make all things new."
I take a line from the Apostles further on and bring it into the present. And it was, he made all things new, so that that's not strictly in the, you know, Passion section of the Gospels. But apart from that, very little deviation from the Synoptic Gospels.
Amos, Ila questa, quis. Ila Mater Galileis. Amos. In cele.